What are proven ways that you can scale your coaching or consulting business to 7 figures? As a coach or consultant, it can be pretty overwhelming to try to decide what ways you can scale your business. And specifically by scale, I mean the different kinds of offerings you can build as part of your business. And each one of these can have its own revenue stream that alone can take you to 7 figures or together. And that's what we're going to cover in today's video, so stay tuned. Hi, I'm Jessica Yarbrough, top business strategist for coaches and consultants. And my focus is selling on ultra high-end packages and helping scale that way. So I am going to talk a little bit more about that in this video, but I also want to share some other ways that you might not have thought of that you can also use to scale your coaching or consulting business. So let's dive in. The number one way you can scale your coaching or consulting business to 7 figures is through high ticket engagements. Now, this is the space that I'm in and the one you hear me talk about the most on my channel. And this term high ticket gets thrown around a lot. So for me, when I'm talking about high ticket, I'm really talking about the ultra high ticket engagements. Yes, you can absolutely charge $10,000 for your services, sell 100 of them and hit $1 million. That's still a lot of volume because in order to sell 100 services at 10,000, you're going to need a lot of traffic to the top of your funnel, and you're going to need to have a lot of sales calls, like 500 over the course of a year. And that's using the typical industry close rate of 1 in 5 calls. It's almost impossible for an individual to do this while also running a business and serving clients. So you would definitely need a team of salespeople in your business with this model. That by definition is a high ticket engagement. However, what I focus on is the ultra high ticket space. And that means selling packages where you are delivering services on the low end at 25 or 50,000 and on the upper end, multiple 6 figures. And if you do the math and you're selling a $200,000 engagement, you really only need a handful of clients each year to hit 7 figures. I mean, even if you're selling a $50,000 package, you still only need 20 clients over the course of the year to hit that number. And that is very doable for a small business owner who doesn't have a large team or a big ad budget. And I'm a big fan of high ticket engagements, especially ultra high ticket. If you're someone in the B2B space, know that you can also sell larger packages to all types of organizations, small to big. And I've literally helped established coaches and consultants transition into selling these size deals. No matter how you work the numbers, high ticket engagements are going to get you to the bigger numbers faster because you're not reliant on volume. It's going to be a quality over quantity game. And to me, it's just a much easier path to scale your business to 7 figures, but there are others. Next, the second way you can scale your coaching or consulting business to 7 figures is through licensing deals. Now, this is something that you don't hear much about in our industry, and there's lots of different things that you can license in terms of your content. Specifically, one of the areas I help my clients with still falls in the realm of high ticket. And that is helping you put together licensing deals for your curriculum and sell them to organizations. I separate this out, even though it still falls under the umbrella of high ticket, because it's a much more passive income stream. You see, once you've built your curriculum and you've designed your model for delivery, you can offer an organization access to your curriculum for their employees for multiple 5 figures. The work in designing this and the build out is in the front end. But once it's built, you can sell it, and it's really a plug and play model that organizations can then renew year after year. It becomes a really attractive solution for my clients, especially those that are making high 6 figures. They're not necessarily looking to continue to grow their delivery. They want to create a more passive option. I also like licensing deals because typically our ultra high-end engagements that we design for organizations are geared towards more senior leadership. And the licensing deal allows you to bring the training and that information and cascade it down to other levels throughout the organization. This keeps costs low for the company while also allowing more people to access it. So it's very attractive to them as well. It's a great downsell for my B2B coaches and consultants. Yet another way you can scale your coaching or consulting business to 7 figures is through group programs. Again, group programs can absolutely fall under that umbrella of high ticket engagements. Of course, there are group programs out there that are selling for a few $1,000s, but I've helped clients sell group programs for multiple 5 figures. And a group program is something that leverages your time. So instead of being, say, on a dozen one-to-one calls in a week, you can be on one group call and have all of those people attending. And group programs are a really powerful way to not only consolidate your time and scale, but it also gives you an option for people who may not be able to afford your one-to-one program. Another thing I really like about group programs is that you start to build a community aspect that you just don't get when you're operating a one-to-one model. There is so much your clients can learn from one another, and powerful breakthroughs can happen on your group calls. I know that I've had lifelong friendships that have been formed from my group program. Putting together a group program can be a little overwhelming, so if you haven't done this before, I highly recommend working with an expert strategist who can help you design this and understand how to deliver it and do it really well. And keep in mind that even if you are a B2B coach or consultant, you can absolutely still have a group coaching program where you're delivering expert material on leadership or career development or executive presence, communication, and more. Organizations can pay to send individual team members to be part of your group program. This means that you can have a group program with people from all different types of organizations. Other times when you put together these offers, an organization may ask you to run that group program just with their company, and they'll put 20 people through it. Once you design it, you have the option to make it open enrollment for people from all different companies, or you can just run it as a program with an individual company. Also keep in mind that many people will self-pay for their development. It's always nice if an organization pays, or if they at least pay part of development, but I have many clients who have people paying out of pocket to join these programs. I really can't say enough about the power of scaling to 7 figures through a group program. It's one of my favorite offer strategies to design for my clients. By the way, if you haven't downloaded our 7-figure case study on how we helped a coach scale to 7 figures actually using a group coaching model, I highly recommend it. The link is pinned in the comments below. Another way that you can scale your coaching or consulting business to 7 figures is to have a membership that you roll out. This is typically a low ticket offer, so it does require volume. And even though you hear me preach high ticket all day long, and that is the area that I think is the best place to focus, that's not to say that having a membership is not also a valid model for scaling. You have to find what works for you, and there are countless case studies of people with multi-million-dollar membership-based businesses. So when you consider the way that you want to scale, think about the kinds of interactions you want to have with your clients. Personally, I actually enjoy coaching and consulting with my clients. I love one-to-one, I love training, I love running my group program, and I love hosting retreats. I do 90% of my business virtually and very little in person, and it allows me the freedom to set my own hours and work from anywhere in the world. And I'm also able to go deep with my clients so I can build quality relationships and help people go further faster because I have so many touch points and interaction with them. With a membership model, it's very hands-off, and you're not going to have a lot of interactions with your clients. They're not paying a lot of money, so this makes sense. You're not getting on private calls with them. In fact, many memberships have access to training, maybe a closed group, and a Q&A or live stream session every once in a while. Again, decide what you want. If you're looking to be completely hands-off and you're okay with charging a low-end fee and focusing on a volume of business, then a membership model may be best for you. If this is the case, then you need to be really strategic about how you're going to get people into the top of funnel so that they join your membership. And then you also need to be strategic about how you're going to retain them, because another common problem that arises with the membership model is that people fall off after a few months. Again, this is a valid way to scale your coaching or consulting business to 7 figures. Before you make that decision, consider what I just mentioned and also do the math. How many members are you going to need to hit 7 figures? And how are you going to acquire that many members? What is that going to cost? Finally, another way you can scale your coaching or consulting business to 7 figures is by launching a course. And if you're launching a course to sell it as a high-ticket licensing deal to organizations or in other content licensing strategies, I'm okay with that. But if you're trying to roll out a $197 to $997 course to the general public, I'm not as big of a fan. Again, just like the membership models, there are many case studies of people who have multi-million-dollar courses. However, most people that are trying to launch a course fail. And that the reason why is it's very difficult to design a course, record it, build it, then build a compelling sales page or webinar that doesn't require a phone call to sell it, meaning they get all the information they need, it's automated, it's a seamless experience. And then on top of that, generate enough traffic to hit 7 figures, enough traffic to that page or webinar. Keep in mind when you're talking about running traffic that it's more than just throwing $1,000 or $5,000 a month or more at ad spend. You actually have to have an entire traffic strategy from cold to warm to retargeting and know what you're doing. And I think this is why so many people struggle a lot with successfully monetizing courses. They may not have a large email list or audience, and then they build this course, but they struggle with getting enough people to their page, and then actually converting them. The other big issue that I have with course creation is that they have a 90% attrition rate. This means if you've cracked the code on writing compelling landing pages or having an incredible webinar, and you've dialed in your traffic strategy and you've gotten people to buy, most of the time they're gonna watch a few modules and never open it again. Why? Well, typically people are going to go through a few modules and start to do the assignment that helps implement your teachings, and they go into overwhelm because they have questions. Then because it's just a course and there's no support baked in, there's no one to answer their questions. There's also no one to coach them through the process or hold them accountable to doing the work. So they just stop doing the work. Like, I sold courses in the past and I haven't done it for years because I saw this happen. Can it make you money if you do it right? Absolutely. It's a lot of work. But if you get all the pieces I mentioned, you can make money. Will it have the impact that you hoped in terms of a true transformation for your clients? That I'm just really not sure about. Most of the courses that people buy are collecting dust on their computer. Like, think about how many courses you've personally bought over the years and how many of those did you absolutely complete. So again, you can scale your coaching or consulting business to 7 figures by launching a course, but will you be successful both with revenue generation and actual impact? That's the question that remains. Out of everything that I shared with you, the number one strategy I would say is to shift into high ticket and start selling one-to-one at a higher price point. You're gonna love the caliber of clients that you're working with. And then from there, you can decide how you want to scale, whether that's through a one-to-many group coaching program, or whether you want to step into selling to bigger corporate engagements, or even design a high-ticket licensing deal for passive income. These are the 3 areas that I support my clients with, and if you'd like that help, then click the link below and schedule a strategy call. This wraps up my video on some of the top ways you can scale your coaching or consulting business to 7 figures. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and hit share so more entrepreneurs can hear this message. Until next time.